Hello, everybody out there in podcast land. Welcome back to the Dirty Balls podcast. I'm your host, Ethan Benfield, here as always with Alan and Jeremy. We got one less person today because Jennifer, didn't really have anything to say. So, it's a slow news week, really, if we're being honest. Before we get into what little bit we do have to talk about, we can play our game that we always play, our review game. And this time we have a 5-star review because this is a place that I like and I didn't want to give them any negative press.
Well, before we start, I just want to say I hope you guys enjoyed the beginning of the show before we actually came on, the national anthem. That was sung last Tuesday. I don't know the group's name, but to me, that's probably the best national anthem I've ever heard in LP Friends Stadium besides the little blind girl that's singing, I think, last year.
Yeah, that was a very good anthem.
And that just opens up for this week in our promotions. We're not jumping ahead, but it's Armed Forces Week, Memorial Weekend. So hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did. So back to you, Ethan.
Okay, well, this review comes from Rich Karstensen, a local guide with 123 reviews and 561 photos. This guy really is a review kind of guy. And by the way, I don't know if the lighting is better or worse. I got a thing that I'm using this time, so I think I look all right, as good as I can.
You're still ugly.
Yeah, anyway, this is a 5-star review from 11 months ago, and it reads as follows. My first visit, and I was impressed. The place is clean and there are several concessions for drinks and food. You can even get it delivered to your seat. There was a great crowd and a lot of energy. It took a while to get in because the lines were long. However, all the employees were very nice. Plenty of people around to help you find your seat if needed. It was a fun night and I'll be returning again.
Greenville.
Jeremy?
Tourist. Asheville tourist.
It was Greenville. Interestingly enough, we were just there.
Really? Yeah, I gotta say that is one of my favorite minor league stadiums to go to. One of my favorite stadiums, period. And I'm a Yankees fan, and they're.
If I was to rank them, it'd be my third favorite, probably.
I'd put them up there. For me, they're up there with Asheville.
Alan,
I know they hate
ranking for it.
They're in the top 10. I don't know where I'd put them. I just know my top 2.
Yeah. So everything was, for the most part, was just as good as it always is. We always have good things to say about Greenville, and to that, nothing has really changed. Still a friendly staff. Still, I don't know if the food's still good because I didn't eat there this time. But yeah, still everything about it was still just as good as it's ever been. So all of our previous reviews, just listen to those and you'll know what Greenville's like. We won.
I finally had like negative there, but it's not bad negative.
And what was that?
The player tickets, they put us on the home side, but I think they do that for both teams. That's the section for both, But
I think it is now.
Again, it's not bad, but it could be better. If I don't want to sit on the home side, being a away person, and two, like we were talking before we started the show, if you're not sitting under the concourse or the covered part, you cannot hear anything that they're saying over the microphone. And well, I guess I got 3 things and then once you're under there, they've got the music before, when they first open the gates and you're, doing your thing, the music is way too loud. I mean, when you're trying to order something or just talk to your buddies, you got to scream at each other. But
almost like you're at a concert.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, like I said, that's just nitpicking there. But I mean, I would like for them to fix the audio so you can actually hear out in the outfield and everything.
But that's
still a big deal.
that really speaks to how good of a ballpark it is when
Yeah.
the biggest negatives that we do have are nitpicky things like that. Because
Oh yeah.
I mean, we're not like professional journalists or anything over here, but
Yeah.
we are people that review and critique things. So we got to try to find little things to be negative about. And it's kind of hard to do that in Greenville because for the most part, they're really, really good. So
They're
we
on.
got to try to find something. And so music's too loud. There you go. There's your something.
Well, it's not really too loud during the game. It's just too loud before the game, and it's too loud up under the where the concessions are.
Yeah, true. We found a really good restaurant in downtown
yeah.
Greenville before the game, and I want to personally recommend it to everybody when they're going to
Recommend.
Greenville. If you like barbecue and smoked grilled type things like in the barbecue ballpark, we went to a place called Smoke on the Water. It was
Delicious.
it was delicious, and it wasn't all that expensive, especially for how
No.
good it was.
Well, me, Amy, and not this Ethan that you've seen on video, but my stepson Ethan. We ate there. I had a beer, had brisket chili, which was amazing. A lot of people might think it's on the spicy side, but I love spicy, so it was amazing to me. Um, and we paid just over 30 some dollars. We paid like 30, 34, $35.
Yeah, I had a half a rack of ribs with two sides and a beer, and I paid $23.
Yeah, and anywhere else that'd have been like $40
Yeah.
easily.
And what I really liked about the ribs, first off, they were as good as you can expect ribs to be. Fall off the bone, tender, like everything you want in a good rib, it was. But what really put it over the top for me, and I've never seen a restaurant do this, and I'm glad they do this, and I want more restaurants to start doing this. They have like 6 different kinds of sauce just on the table, and then they bring the ribs out with no sauce on them, so you can put whatever sauce you want on there. Most restaurants when you get ribs are like, okay, here are the sauces, pick one. They bring it all out to you, and you can put you put a little bit of each sauce on there if you want. Like you can really make your ribs unique, and the sauces themselves are all really good, and you get little cornbread with butter as the bread kind of appetizer thing, and that's free.
And one thing, I don't know if it was just our waiter or if this is something that their whole wait staff does, but around the ballpark down there, around where the restaurant is, there's lots of bars. Well, after we got done eating and he brought us our checks, he was telling us what the drink specials are. I don't think he knew them for that day, but he was telling us about all the different drinks and beers and stuff that the bars around had. I thought that was a nice touch.
Yes, and
cool.
our waiter was very very nice, and if you're grumpy and hangry and haven't had anything to eat all day, it can come across as him being a little talkative and not leaving you alone. But he was very nice, funny, and kind of outgoing, personable kind of waiter.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
And another thing I liked about the restaurant, if you're going down for a game and you get there a few hours early to eat, go ahead and park wherever you're going to park for the game, because the restaurant is literally on the opposite, like just down the street, one on the same block as the ballpark.
Right down from where did we go last time?
Max.
Max's. Okay.
We also
That's what I thought. I
and
was
we
sure.
also did before the game go to Max, and which is a bar and grill right next to the ballpark, and they had a crazy selection of beer. Like they had probably 30 different draft beers, and then a whole nother list of bottles and cans. They had so many different beers from around the Carolinas and from other places.
Well, our food adventure, we went to Morganton and went to Mountain Burrito because I was not driving down 85 through Gaffney. So we took the back roads. And then now my new favorite place to eat was afterwards And I know it's been around for a while, but we just never been. We went to Twin Peaks and it was delicious. I got a giant bold rock and they have advertisements to where they have the coldest beer around and it was 29 degrees. It had little ice pellets in it. It was so good. And the food was delicious. Jennifer and I both got the same cheeseburger because it had some kind of special bacon on it, cheese fries, 2 drinks, my big ass beer. She got some apple turnovers for dessert, and I got bourbon pecan pie. It's like $60. So I mean, it was. And we got up this morning, and the hotel was like, we got a free buffet, and I'm like, I'm not even hungry because we ate it. I think like 12:30 last night. So, and then there's a place 10 minutes from the ballpark called shit, Team Barbecue or something like that we were going to go to, but it was after 10 o'clock. So you had to order from the bar and there wasn't nowhere to sit, but they had a huge selection of sauces too. So we'll have to try that out next time we go. But like I said, I think it's called Home Team Barbecue or something like that.
So it's a potential future dining experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
there's a lot of stuff in Greenville to do and eat.
I have
Lot of
a
stuff,
couple
and
of
it's
I have a
all
couple
right
of
there together.
notes from the previous homestand, and I can't remember which games that these all happened in, but I do remember there were a couple things that really grabbed my attention. So in one game, a bit something kind of rare. It's not super rare, but it's something you don't see that often. We had somebody called out on an interference call defensively, which was interesting. That was on Sunday, your birthday, and it was a pop fly in foul territory, and our first baseman went over to catch it by was reaching over the dugout, and there were guys, Greensboro guys, I think it was Greensboro, standing on the dugout in his way and did not get out of the way until the very last second as the ball was coming down. And we were sitting up there like, well, that's interference, isn't it? And then like 30 seconds later, they finally decided that they were gonna call it.
And it was one of those things where it wasn't like the players were trying to interfere. It was they were trying to get out of the way of the ball, and he was trying to get to the ball. Yeah, them trying to get away from the ball kept him from being able to catch the ball, which he should have been able to catch. But yeah, that's pretty rare. I mean, most of the time you see interference called on the catcher.
Yeah, we couldn't see it from where we were sitting because it was on the other side of the dugout.
We also, Aaron Zavala had a very big 2 home run game and got some national attention for that. I was at the one game of the week that I wasn't at Saturday, the Christian concert.
Yeah, when they're selling candles, Loose Candle Company.
I got the first home run ball.
Nice.
I offered it to him Sunday, and he's like, "No, it's okay. You got it." He's like, "How did you get it?" And I said, "A kid ran out and got it." And I asked him if I could have it because that Friday I went to the card store and bought a pack of cards and pulled one of his cards out of a pack. So had him sign the ball and the card.
Nice.
All right. So something else, and this right here is I'm really excited about this. I, on a technicality, get to check off something from my baseball game bingo. And that is the game being delayed due to an animal on the field.
Where was this?
Think about it, Alan. Think about what this could possibly be.
It was a cheetah.
A cheetah on the field, and they had to delay the game to get this cheetah off the field.
Nice.
Okay.
Derek Cheetah.
Yeah, Derek Cheetah. So, as anybody that's been to a lot of minor league baseball games will know, there's a group of traveling entertainers called the Superstars.
Or watched America's Got Talent.
Or watched America's Got Talent. And they are people with these costumes of animals in sports attire, and they're all puns. You know, there's Harry Canary,
Derek Cheetah.
Derek Cheetah, and Tim Tebow and others, and they do wacky performances at ball games. They have not yet done my suggestion of Quail Earnhardt. They'll have to. I'll have to send them some more emails for them to do Quail Earnhardt. So anyway, they had one of the things where Derek Cheetah was doing, one of their little gimmicks out there, and then he decided to go to run off the field, but he ran down the first base line instead of the third base line. Now, on the third base line, there's a tunnel that.
No, you're opposite.
No, he went down
the first base side.
He went down the
first base.
He came onto the field on the first base side.
Yes, but he tried to get off the field on the first base side because he couldn't.
On the third
because
base
there's a tunnel on the third base side, and there's no tunnel on the first base side.
We were sitting on the first base side. He was on the other side of the field from us. That makes that the third base side.
I'm so used to sitting right at third base that I just got that completely backwards.
Nope.
Anyway, there's a tunnel on our side that he could have gone through to get out of there, but instead he goes down to the other side where there is no tunnel and has to climb halfway up the wall in foul territory to try to get out. And they stopped the game and waited for him to get out, and it took him a while to get out. Like he was
all the players just standing there watching.
And the players were just standing there watching him. And what made it even funnier is when he did like a little front flip across the to get down to the berm that goes down. He landed on that, and then like 100 kids all showed up and just dogpiled on top of him and wouldn't let him go. Like they were all like, usually these guys have like these handlers that go with them, like, all right, so here's where we're going next. But this guy had to make his way through a sea of children to get out of there, and those kids were pretty aggressive.
But what was funny is he had to deflate himself to get over the wall because it's a balloon costume, and he had to turn the fan off so it could deflate so he could get over. And then once he fell over, they just all dogpiled him. It was crazy.
And I've only got one specific note that I made left. We told you guys this might be a slow news week, and by golly, it is. I've only got one more note. And so that brings me to something that isn't that funny, but I thought it was. So I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with vintage sports clothes. So like I see these people on Instagram all the time that are wearing like 90s NASCAR t-shirts and stuff like that I know damn well have never watched a race in their life and only have the shirt because it looks cool and it's like niche and cool and vintage to wear old sports stuff now. And because of that, there are whole stores that are like cool, hip millennial stores with like loud ass rap music playing and people walking around buying like old 94 Dale Earnhardt t-shirts for like $50, even though they're like $5 if you go to the race and look at the tents. Anyway, I was at one of those stores today and I saw two crawdads things. One was a t-shirt that looked pretty cool that I really wanted to buy, but it was pretty expensive. The other was an old snapback hat with the old logo on it. And the tag said 1980s Hickory Crawdads hat.
80s?
The Hickory Crawdads, which began playing in 1993, there was a hat with a tag that said 80s Crawdad hat.
Wow.
So
not must have been that guy.
Not only are the people wearing these vintage things not doing their research, the people selling them aren't even doing the research.
Well, did you confront them about it?
No, I did not. The guy, the salesperson in the store was very nice, and I didn't want to be a dick about something that trivial. But actually, that I should have, because like when you watch like Pawn Stars or something, and the guy's like, I don't know if this is legit. Let me call my buddy. He knows. I could have been that guy's. I could have been the buddy that comes in and authenticizes stuff. That could have been me. But But no, I guess I missed my opportunity to make some but I can make some money on the side because I got a bunch of old NASCAR stuff that I could sell for like 700% profit and still have these people thinking they're getting a deal.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the notes that I have for last week, Acuna got his first home run on
Hey,
when
you
on
said it
Tuesday.
right.
I know how to say his name.
Oh yeah, oh you do, but people whose job it is to announce names don't know it.
Oh, holy crap.
Yeah.
They were calling Avery the other night. We were watching, I think Adam. We were watching the Frisco game. Avery was pitching and it was just some other name. It wasn't Avery. It was just, Jennifer
Yeah.
was getting pissed.
But
And I'm like,
there's
how
no
do you miss that?
there's no excuse to pronounce a name wrong when a person with the same last name is on the defending
Same
world
sport.
championship team and is like pretty famous.
Yeah.
But we,
And it's like the other week in Winston. Now, granted, I could understand him not knowing how to pronounce the name Franier, but he was calling him Frank. I'm sorry, Franier looks nothing, sounds nothing like Frank.
right.
Okay. Then they were Christian and Noah. They were pronouncing him on Wednesday night in Greenville. They were pronouncing him Inoa, not Inoa, Inoa, or Inoue.
And see, I remember they had the paper here in Hickory, but they don't do it no more. Imagine that. You know, they would have the
On the
lineup.
budget.
Yeah, they would
Actually,
have the
they still have
lineup
it.
on for us and on the backside for the other team, and they have the pronunciation on the bottom, and it says it sounds like,
Yeah.
because that's how
Yeah, but
Chris would have
also in Spanish, there are two N's. There's a regular N and then an N with that little thing on top of it. That's called a tilde. It's two different letters that are pronounced two different ways. And this is not, I'm no expert. This is like 8th grade Spanish.
Yeah.
but it's also
And-
it's all good. And let's see, going back, like I said, Tuesday, it's time for the BS that we have to put up with at the Crawdad Stadium, but hopefully it's changing. Tuesday, I got a chicken quesadilla from the cafe, and it took 20 minutes to make a chicken quesadilla. And I was not happy. And this Dollar Dog Tuesday and everything. And I don't eat hot dogs, so that's why I got my chicken quesadilla. But I'm standing over there waiting and waiting and waiting. And this guy comes up, waiting on your hot dog? It's like, nah. I said, I got a chicken quesadilla. He's like, oh, fancy. And I'm like, yeah. I said, all they got to do is melt some cheese. And he's like, I know it's taking forever. And he's complaining about the lines being long. Come to find out, he's also a vendor of one of the beers at the stadium. And he's complaining about it's taking way too long to serve his beer, that he doesn't understand why we got such long lines. So now we have a vendor bitching and complaining along with us fans as well. So that takes us to the next day, Wednesday. Jennifer and I went up there and got us something else to eat. And I ordered my food as soon as the national anthem was over. 30 minutes. Because we have a chicken sandwich now that I had no idea we got. And, I figured I'd give it a shot. It came out cold and dry. And when the lady comes out and says, what the order is, she's like, chicken tenders. And it goes back in. She says it twice.
There's like 300 people standing around talking, making noise.
Right.
And she's just whispering.
And they yell it out twice. And if you don't show up, they go back in. And I'm just like, this is some bullshit. So I got down to my seat. I took a picture. I tweeted it, said 30 minutes later, cold and dry, #not happy.
Scott also was having an issue that same night waiting on some food.
Exact same time.
Yeah. He was waiting with us because he was trying to hear from me. And so I don't know his name. I have his business card. He's the manager over the concession stands. He came down. He's like, "Who ordered the chicken sandwich?" And I'm like, "I did." And he's like, "What was wrong?" And I told him. He's like, "Well, what can I do to make it better?" And I'm like, "Nothing." I said, "Not right now." And he's like, "Well, next time you get anything, here's my name, here's my number, call me and we'll make it right." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "But what can we do?" He's like, "I appreciate you putting it out there, bringing it to our attention." And I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, here's the things." I said, "It's slow." I said, "It's got to get quicker." I said, "Because if somebody comes in the stadium, the second time they go into these weights, they're not going to come back a third time, because they'll probably chalk up the first visit, as it's being busy. You got to. You just can't expect it to be boom. I ordered it. Here's my food. But when you wait 30 minutes, and so then your second time you wait 30 minutes, yeah, there's not going to be a third." And I said, and I told him, about the woman coming out being very quiet. And I said, "Now listen," I said, "if I ordered a chicken quesadilla, the next three people behind me ordered one, and we're all waiting 30 minutes. And she comes out saying chicken quesadilla, the third person in line is gonna be like, 'Oh, that's mine.' And they're going to go grab that food, when technically it was mine because I was the first one. They don't know, you know what I'm saying?" I said, "So there's got to be some kind of thing there." So he came back down. He said, "All right, we talked about it. This is what we're going to start doing. We're going to start taking your names, and we're going to start calling your name out over a radio system. So they're going to get like a megaphone and all this good stuff. We'll see. I haven't been back because I'm not. If we're there 6 days a week, it gets expensive. I'll just run over to Taco Bell since the taco pizza's back, and eat before the game. But I will go back to see if there's any changes. But I'm not going to call him and let him know that, hey, I'm coming to get my food. We're just going to see what happens. And I don't expect them to give me free food anyway. I mean, it's no big deal. So, but that's my complaints for this week. The same that we've had every other week, and that's the big. Well, and the other big news, we played Greensboro. So, who came to town to play us?
Claudio.
Claudio.
Oh.
So that was
Claudio.
cool. His parents actually came. He actually got engaged a couple weeks before coming here. I think it was the week before, because
No.
he came in batting 500.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me? You say something, Ethan.
I barely.
I think we're losing Jeremy because his pictures all froze up too.
Yeah, he's froze.
All right. Well, are you back?
I'm back.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I am here.
So, but yeah, Claudio got engaged in Greensboro on the field. So that was pretty cool. Jennifer found a video and shared it with the group. And when he got there, after the first game, we all yelled Claudio. He was over there talking to his people and everything. He's like, "These are my parents." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." And they were awful quiet Tuesday and Wednesday. But Thursday came and Dad had a couple of drinks. And Dad was getting into it. I forgot where they were, but I went over there and talked to his fiance and let her know what was going on, why we cheer for him and everything from last year. And she said this is the very first time that they've ever seen him play. And
Wow.
yeah, I mean, I couldn't even imagine, Lucas or Cooper, go off. They make, professionally, and I don't get to see that. I mean, that sucks. And then that goes back to, here in Hickory, the big bitching complaint. No audio, no video for these guys, for their families to see it. It sucks to watch a ball pop up on an app, and that's all you see.
Hey,
and
I
read
tried.
what
I
happens.
tried. I talked to people. It just nothing ever came of it.
But they were super. Like I said, his dad was awesome. He couldn't speak English except for 1, 2, 3, go home, because he was making fun of us counting the steps, and then he would tell all of us to go home. And one guy's like, they are home, because he was the Dominican father figure for Greensboro. And so he takes care of those guys that don't speak English that much. And he was telling us what was going on. And he was like, they are home. He's like, no, go home.
We had another interaction with our friend in Greenville, their catcher.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jax. He was coming out before the game, and Glenn, who used to drive the bus for the Crawdads, he was at the game with us, and he picked up Ethan's cowbell and started, kind of ringing it a little bit. And as Jax was walking by, and he stopped and looked at us, he goes, "Are you serious? Did you really bring the cowbells?" So we all picked up our cowbells and rang them, and I said, "Don't leave home without them."
Nice.
He just kind of laughed.
Well,
we tweeted him and said, we talked about him, so we'll see.
so I don't have really that much more to talk about. I know it's a very slow week, but some weeks are like that. Jeremy might have something, and there's promotions. I know this is super unprofessional of the host, but I really, really have to go to the bathroom right now. I will see just a moment.
But back to the Claudio thing. I'm gonna go ahead and finish that, wrap that up. Tim actually got a ball from one of the pitchers. They put a ball, and on the whole sweet spot on one side we put 108, go home, and we all signed it and went over and gave it to him. Dude, you would have thought we gave him $1 million. He told every single player that came out of the Greensboro dugout, look. I mean, he was so happy that we gave him that ball. He was, that was awesome. And I'm so glad that they got to see him play. And I think every game that Claudio played in, they won.
Yeah.
He didn't do all that much, but the games that he played
they won
in.
The last one he played in.
Oh yeah, they won. They won Sunday. They won. They beat us 3-4.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But,
The first game,
I think
he played in. Yeah, because the first game he played, they won 4-7. And
he had a great game in the field that day. It was like everything that came to him, he just sucked it up. I mean, and it cracked me up because before the game, when they introduced him, we all did the Claudio, and when he came over there to play third, we did it again. And he's kind of looked at us, kind of grinned a little bit and shook his head. Well, then I forget who it was. It might have been Franier, I believe. Hit just a shot down the third base line, and he just ate it up and threw Franier out at first. Then looked over there at us and just went, and that cracked us all up. And he did that a couple times. And I think it was Friday night. Yeah, it was because we had fireworks. One of the Greensboro players, somebody I didn't know, came running up to my stepson and my girlfriend and handed them a ball, or handed little Ethan a ball. And then he just was like, "Here, kid, you go, here's the ball," and ran off. And then Claudio was coming, like 20 feet, 30 feet behind him, and Amy got Claudio to come over and sign the ball. And Claudio was just like, "Wow, I can't believe you're asking for my autograph. This is so awesome." He didn't say that, but he was like, "Really? Wow." I just thought it was really cool.
Yeah. When I was down there getting Aaron's autograph, he came by and he waved at me and said, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "You playing today?" He's like, "Yeah." And then he asked me how I was doing. So, I mean, he's a great guy, man. I mean, he
seems like it. Yeah.
And it's like, and that's what I told his fiance. I said, he interacted with us. He has fun with us. So he has our support,
Yeah.
I mean, even if he got a hit against us, we still
Oh,
going
yeah.
to cheer for him. I mean, hell, Avery pitched against him, and if he got a hit
Yep.
off Avery, I mean, I'm going to yell Claudio's name. And I had to tell John, the night, Wednesday morning, what was going on. Well, I think I told him Tuesday night on the way home. I sent him a text message. I'm like, all right, here's the deal. I said, he's just a cool guy. And we started this last year, and he happened to be here this year. So we're just going to cheer for him. So he's like, oh, man, that is super cool.
He's kind of like Joe Davis
Yeah.
for Greenville. I told Joe Davis when he signed my bobblehead, I'm like, dude, I can't tell you to have a good game because I'm pulling for the other team, but have fun. And he just kind of laughed. I said, remember, have fun, but not a good game. Or I said, you can have a good time, just don't have a good game. And he thought that was hilarious. So he's another one of those players that even though it's against us, I kind of pull for him every time he's out there.
So I didn't catch any of that. I'm sure it was a riveting story.
Well, I hope not. It's supposed to all go in the toilet.
What?
Just watch the show and see what he said.
Okay.
We'll actually get a view.
I mean, short. Clip it for me. What's the short version?
Well, so I take it you got all your paperwork done.
Yes.
Everything
Real
came out
shitty
all right.
paperwork.
Yeah, it's all good.
So, but we actually split the series with Greensboro. So, it was a great series. I mean, I want to say evenly matched. I mean, there was no bad calls by the umpires. They actually did pretty damn decent. So, no complaints there. It was a good home.
3 games that we lost. Yeah, the 3 games that we lost, we were in it right up till the end.
Well, except for
the one, 2 of the 3 that we lost, we were in it.
Thursday, we got beat 7-1.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
And one night
with
we
our
had 13
team,
strikeouts, and we still lost.
Yeah, still lost. But with our team, is way our offense is, 7-1 isn't as big of a deficit as it sounds. I mean, was it this Friday we were down 5-1 and tied it up, came back to win?
I think so.
Yeah.
And then this week in Greensville, we won every game but the first one, and all high. And I think last night was the most runs I've ever seen scored. It was 15-11.
Yes, 26 runs.
I think the game that one of the games we went to in Frisco, there was one game in Frisco that had a really high score, and I think that might have been but it's either the first or second most runs we've ever seen in a game.
I couldn't tell you the score of any game that I've been to in Texas.
I filmed a couple of little vloggy bits when we were in Texas, and that is actually the lowest viewed video on the channel, so y'all should go check that out. And one of those little clips is me talking about how crazy the score was at the game that we had been at. And my alarm, you guys just heard my alarm go off in the background. Maybe my mom's in here opening doors.
But with us splitting the series last week and winning all the games but one this week, right now we are third in the South League with one game behind first. Bowling Green's first, Rome, who we haven't played yet, and then it's us. So,
yep. If you think about that, I mean, we're in third place, only one game back. That is an extremely tight division,
and nowhere near halfway. So,
I mean, second place in the Northern Division is like 6 games back.
And do you guys want to talk about the big news that's coming while we're actually on the road? The 3 games that we're going to play?
Well, first I'd like to talk a little bit more about Greenville.
Okay.
Like Trevor Halver. Like up to the Greenville trip, he really hadn't done all that great this year. I mean, he had like a 160 something batting average when they left Hickory to go to Greenville, and he's brought it up to, and let me check it out here. I had it brought up. Hold And right now, his batting average is 237. I mean, in 6 games, he's brought it up to 237. That is flat out balling. I mean, I love it. I love it when it gets to see a young player who's struggling just catch fire.
Right.
I mean, they've gone from his defense is keeping him in the game to now they're having him DH because they don't want his bat out of the lineup. I love that. But anyway,
Yeah, I don't
that's all
think
I
there's
wanted.
anybody that's sliding down really. I think we're all coming together and
And
making it
Cody
work.
Freeman, he's another one.
Yeah.
Cody Freeman's been lighting the world on fire with the bat here lately. He had a 2-run home run and a grand slam in the same game. I think it was Wednesday night. I mean, yeah. Anyway,
There was something in Greensville that it's very rare to see. Granted, it was against us. So
oh
it was
yeah,
a natural
Yeah.
cycle.
And for those of you
Yeah.
who don't know, a natural cycle is even more rare than a regular cycle because a natural cycle, you do everything in order. The first, the single, then the double, then the triple, and then the home run in that order.
Yeah,
I
I
can't
would like
pronounce the
to
guy's name.
Sadon Raffaello.
Sadon,
think-
Sadon
I
something.
know his first name's Sadon because I used to make the joke when he came to Hickory. Like, why are we saying Don? Don.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said it.
But it is
Corny joke.
Raphael. Because when I see his name, I think about Raphael Devers, who played in Greenville.
Yep. Yeah, that's a name to watch out for. I think he'll make
And
it
he's
in the
fast
majors.
as hell too. That
Yeah.
kid's got some wheels.
Yes, he does.
So when they come back to Hickory, if you might want to grab that guy's autograph. I'm just saying, because he's
Yeah.
going to the show.
Sooner rather than later. He keeps playing the way he is.
Oh, also, speaking of autographs, there was a woman next to. We went after the game to talk to our guys down by the over by
The
Pesky
river?
Pole over there in right field.
Yeah.
All the Greenville Drive players were walking past, and they had just lost. And you all know, we all know at least, after a loss, that you don't really go ask for autographs because they're not in the mood to sign autographs at that point. She was going, is anybody going to sign my ball? Is anybody going to sign my ball? Or at least acknowledge that I exist over here, like acting super offended that none of them were wanting to sign for, like taking it personal that none of them were wanting to sign for. And I was like, I told her, I said, well, they just lost. They probably don't want to sign balls right now. And she goes, well, it's for my son. And I'm like, I know, but that's just not, after a loss like that, they're not really in the mood. Their coach their managers might get mad at them if they are out here signing after a loss. It's just not, they're probably just not going to do it. And then some of our crawdad players started walking by. And I don't know what this woman was thinking because it's very clear that this is two separate teams because one of them was wearing red and one of them was wearing black, which are very contrasting colors. She looks at me and goes, what about these guys? Are they winners or losers? And I was like, well, obviously they're not the guys that they're wearing completely opposite outfits from the guys that just walked past us. So unless there's 3 teams, what game are you watching? If they lost, that means they won. You can't have, there's no ties in baseball. So it was very,
no, there was
very strange. But then a bunch of Crawdads players signed her ball. So she went and gave her son a ball that says Greenville Drive on it that was signed by a whole bunch of Crawdad players.
And just a quick tip for anybody out there who is getting a ball autograph for their child, if at all possible, get the child to ask for the autographs because players will ignore 30 to 40 adults asking for autographs to get to that one kid asking for an autograph. And that's the way it should be. I mean, obviously, if the kid can't be there or something like that, there's exceptions. But, players love to give autographs to the kids. They love to give them balls. broken bats, stuff like that. So if your kid wants stuff like that, have them ask for it. I mean, it'll be a great experience for the kid, and they're way more likely to get it than somebody that looks like me.
Yes, and the funniest part too was like 3 or 4 players in a row would all stop and sign, and then one player would walk past without signing. And she's like, well, I guess I'm just nothing over here. I'm like, well, you just like, what do you expect everybody to stop? That's not gonna, not
Not gonna happen.
even, that didn't even happen for us, and we're over here in all crawdad stuff.
Yeah, and know several of them. Like
Yes.
not, they know us by sight.
Yes, because we were ringing, because at one point when Luis Angel got injured again or got roughed up a little bit, I hope it's not that bad. It was just a
He wasn't in the lineup tonight.
okay. Well, anyway, and then Franier came out to replace him at second, and we rung the cowbell when they announced his name, and he turned around and waved at us. So yeah, they do know us, but
yeah, he turned around like, "Hey,
you can't expect everybody, like, be grateful you got people to sign when you did. And also, Jeremy's right. The kid definitely would get, although I don't think the kid was there. Yeah, are these guys winners? Like, well, what have you been watching for the past 3 hours?
It's that sentence,
What?
yeah, like really? I don't know. I'm trying to find something here. My phone's being screwy.
And also, there was a fan there in the first inning. So we had scored 2 in the top of the first, and then they came back and scored 1 in the bottom of the first. And then the guy was like, "Yeah, ring that cowbell now!" Like super smug about it, as if they. And first off, well, we're still winning, and second, it's the first inning. That is like 8th inning kind of talk right there. We like people. So many people think that the first inning is like there's still 8 more innings of baseball left. Like, what you mean all smug about?
Yeah, Chad had his cowbell.
Yeah, and to be honest, that is.
But he
the go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, Chad, he had his cowbell and he wouldn't ring it real loud. And I turned around and said, "If you're going to ring it, ring it." And one of the Greenville's girlfriends was sitting in front of him. He's like, "I'm not getting my butt jumped over here." And I'm like, "Then why'd you bring it?" I said, "I got you back."
Yeah.
And then somebody hit a home run and he just started ringing it like crazy. He's like, "Is that good for you, Al?" And I was like, "Perfect." Oh, and what did you guys think about the home run that was hit by Greenville yesterday that hit off the top of the wall but didn't go over the batter's eye? And then they had to come out and talk about it.
That was where the guy said, "Yeah, ring those cowbells now." And to be honest with you, I thought it was a home run.
I also thought it was a home run. I was surprised.
I thought it should have been a tie ball game.
Nope, it's got to go over the batter's eye.
Or over the wall.
Go over the batter's eye, but if it hits the batter's eye,
over the batter's eye is like 300 feet tall.
It's just got to clear the wall.
Oh, so is the monster.
It bounced off. It bounced right off. It bounced right off the lip of the wall and back in, which I think is a home run.
I think it has to go over the batter's eye and single field.
It doesn't have to go all the way over.
No,
because I've seen it.
The batter's eye is not in play.
Yeah, the batter's eye is out of play because the batter's eye is behind the fence.
Yeah, the batter's eye is just there to help the batter pick up that white ball against the blue sky.
Yeah, so it just has to clear the fence, and sometimes it
behind the wall.
If the fence goes, if there's like a yellow marker halfway down the fence, like at some stadiums, then that yellow marker is the home run. But yeah, so at a stadium like that with such funky dimensions, you're going to get something weird like that every now and then.
But the good thing was it didn't really make a difference. I mean, maybe it would have tied the ball game at the time, and maybe they would have had a better attitude. Been more pumped up, not quite as deflated. But
yeah, 15-11, and it still only went like 3 hours and 2 minutes. So if that doesn't tell you,
it seemed like forever though.
It
seemed like it took forever. I mean, I enjoyed it too, but good God, it seemed like it was a long ass game.
I'm starting to get used to these shorter paced games and enjoying them. I still don't like I still don't like the pitch clock, and I don't like it being forced. That I do not like. I am not a
And see,
fan.
That's my
I'm not a fan of forcing it, and I'm not a fan of timing things in baseball. But I have kind of enjoyed these shorter games at home, not on the road.
but that's something that Jennifer and we didn't talk about when we went to Gastonia, because that league, they don't have the pitch clock. And that's when they just started enforcing it. Now that we have kind of gotten used to it, go to a game that doesn't enforce it and sit there and be like, oh my God, it's a huge difference. And especially like us, and I know I'm being selfish on my end. If I'm getting up at 4:30, I want to get home as soon as possible after the game, and if it's a quick game, great, because I get a little bit more beauty sleep that I need. But you can tell a huge difference now in between the pitch clock and no pitch clock.
Yeah, I've already noticed it watching major league games on TV.
I
Some of
love
those,
it.
some of those are just ponderous at this point.
I still hate it. I agree. I'm kind of like Ethan. I don't mind it if it's a short game. I don't mind the game taking right around 2 hours, but I just hate that forced feeling. It just I just don't like that. I mean, I like it better when, like, say a pitcher gives up a home run in the first. I like for him to have enough time to step off the mound, take a deep breath, and go, okay, that's just one pitch. He got lucky. Now I'm the baddest MFer on this field. I'm gonna step up here and I'm gonna show him what I got. But
That's
now
what
it's
John
like,
done the other night.
well, yeah, and some people can do that in that short period of time. But
Well,
now
maybe
it's like, oh crap, I gotta get back on the mound.
if we're
I
looking
got to
for
throw.
if we're looking for some kind of compromise, like let's say hypothetically, this world in a perfect world, there'd be no pitch clock at all. Let's say hypothetically, they're saying, okay, there has to be a pitch clock no matter what. The compromise I would go with for what you just said is okay. So then immediately after a scoring play, make the next pitch a little bit longer than all the other ones. Maybe, put a longer timer on that. But still, I would rather see no timer at all. But if we have to have one, then I would say compromise by making it a little bit longer after a scoring play.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping when they were talking about all this, they had two options on the table. They had what we have now, which is 15 seconds unless there's a runner on, and then it's 18 seconds. They were talking about possibly doing 20 seconds with nobody on, and 25 or possibly 30 seconds if there were runners. If the 25 seconds if there was one runner on, 30 seconds if there were two runners on. Which to me, I thought that would still speed up the game, but it wouldn't make everything feel quite so rushed.
That's fair. So I guess it's almost that time for some promotions.
Ethan wants to
Unless
get it
you already
over
did it
with.
when I was in the bathroom. I don't know.
Or as I like to call them, things we're probably not going to do.
Well, I guess we could go that, but I want to do this real quick. There was an email sent out this week about the crawdads. When we're away next month, there'll be 3 dates that
Oh, yes.
there's going to be baseball at the stadium, but it's the All-American Amateur Baseball Association. And
I love the name of the team.
The
Love
team
it.
that's going to be the home team usually play in Winston-Salem at the ballpark in Winston-Salem, but they're going to be the home team here, and they're called the Disco Turkeys.
I like
Carolina
that.
Disco Turkeys. Love it. And I love their logo. It's
Yes,
a
and I
turkey
hope-
wearing a leisure suit doing the.
And I hope
Love
they
it.
bring merchandise and we can buy
Me
merch.
too.
I hope. But on the 2nd of next month, and all 3 games are going to be at 6:30. They're going to play the Kingsmen. I don't know where, who, whatever. And the 9th and 23rd, they're playing the Boone Bigfoots. So, and those two games,
Wouldn't that be Big
Bigfoots.
Feet?
It's Boone.
Those two games it's a rivalry type game, and it's a battle for the Turkey Foot Cup.
I love it.
You can go ahead and buy your tickets now. They're $5, or the day of the games, they'll be $6. So go out there and support these guys. I mean, if you're going to support anybody, definitely support, amateur baseball players, because I don't know what happens with them, but if it's kind of like independent ball, they could get picked up by somebody, but support these guys.
I think these guys are all still in college.
Yeah, it's like a wood bat summer college thing.
Yeah, summer wood bat.
Also wood bat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the good old Nor Oilers.
That'll be next month. We might do a show before then, so we'll remind you. But I don't know. So we'll see. But on to the thing that we're probably not going to do this week. So the 24th, which is Tuesday, is actually going to be a double header to make up for a rain delay in Winston-Salem, because the Winston-Salem Hyphens are coming to town. The game's going to start at 5, the first game, and it's dollar dog Tuesday with $2 drafts or whatnot. So the game will be at 5, and there'll be a 30-minute interval between the second game. And I don't think it's going to start any later than 7. So
won't start any earlier than 7.
Yeah. And Wednesday, the game will be at 6. And do you know about this promotion, Jeremy?
Mm-mm.
It's going to be
looked at any upcoming promotions.
So you're going to be excited about this one. It's homage to trains.
Oh, I will love that.
Trains are
I remember seeing that on the schedule, and I was like, I'm not complaining because I love trains and I'm looking forward to it. But
you're going to complain because they're not going to do jack shit with trains.
Oh yeah, they'll have like a trivia 3-question trivia thing between games or between innings, and that'll be it.
And they'll have movie trivia with movies that have to do with trains.
So let's go ahead and say it now.
Finish the lyric with songs about trains.
What movies are they going to show?
What?
What movies do you think they'll show? Polar Express.
Polar Express, yep.
I can't think of that many movies based around trains.
Well, I can think of a bunch, but most of them are older. Like Pelham 123, or the Taking of Pelham 123, where the guy hijacks a train. There was Silver Streak with Richard Pryor and what's his name? Gilda Radner.
Yeah, but remember, it doesn't have to be the whole movie about trains. It could just be a scene from a movie that has a train in it. Like in Tombstone, when they're all getting off the train there, that could be in it.
Could be. That was a great scene. You tell them I'm coming, and hell's coming with me.
I was thinking in the beginning of the movie when they're first getting off. Because that's a little bit more. That other one might not really be for the kids,
When he whips the guy for whipping the horse. Yeah.
Yeah.
For the kids.
The opening of Toy Story 3, when he's playing with the trains.
Yeah.
But that's too obvious.
Yeah, they really should try to make them a little more difficult. I mean, they're going to give them the prize anyway, whether they get it right or not. So make them a little more obscure. Not like super obscure, but,
And if they don't play the song Train Train by Blackfoot, I will be quite upset.
I agree. And if they need to play like Midnight Train to Georgia.
Yes.
Maybe not during the game.
Love Train by the OJs. That's another one.
Oh, Love Train would be a great one to play during the game. During the seventh inning.
I hope I have a Coors Light in my hand when they play Love Train, because that was the commercial for years.
Yep.
And they crack open the Coors Light, and then like whatever setting they were in, turn into like
come busting through the ice.
Train going through. Yeah.
And it's also Wine Wednesday and Kids Win Wednesday. Yay. Thursday is an 11 o'clock game. It's for Education Day and Senior Day. So, we've made that joke before. All the young and old come together as one.
Put the young ones in the sun and the old ones in the shade.
Yeah.
And I'll be there
Friday,
in the middle.
Friday, the game will be at 7. Of course, it's fireworks, and it's also Deke Town Night. The first 500 people come through the gates, you get a Demon Deacons t-shirt.
Those are actually pretty cool T-shirts. Even though I'm not a Deacons fan, but I do like that they do that because it gives Ethan some pajama shirts.
Well, as long as it's not Duke, it doesn't matter who it is. And Saturday is our Memorial Day tribute, and we're giving away
Saturday is
one. Yeah,
What about Sunday? I'll be at the race Sunday, so it won't matter. But what about Sunday?
it's going to be Sunday. Hold your horses there, buddy.
Okay.
Saturday's Memorial tribute. The first 1,000 fans will get a military themed giveaway jersey. So definitely going to get me one. Or you can pay your extra $30. Anyway, not going there. Sunday, the game's at 3. It's Church Bulletin Sunday, and it's a continuation of Memorial Day weekend. So I think I'm going to bring out the 13 flags again and hang them up. But yeah, that's your promotions for the week. The only letdown is actually going to be they're not going to talk about trains, and they're going to do something cheesy for Memorial Day.
Well, at least they do
But they
something
would-
for Memorial.
Yeah, but
They
they
used
all are
not
going to
really
wear.
do
They are going to wear the awesome camouflage hats. It's not the new. That was last year's.
Yeah, I got last
Did
year.
you?
I need to get the new one. That new one is amazing. Of course,
I love
this
it.
one's still one of my favorite hats. I mean, you got the old South Atlantic League on there because they were going to give these out in 20, or not give them out, but sell them in 2020. It didn't happen.
I like the new ones because it has the 5 stars and it says Hickory on it.
Yes,
I
like
wore
that.
mine yesterday because it was supposed to be the military game for Greenville, and they didn't do it. But they posted like they were going to wear theirs. I'm like, I'm going to wear mine because
Yes, I got a feeling the team may have had something to do with that because like we were only supposed to wear our black jerseys like twice this year, and they've
I thought
already
it was
worn
supposed
them
to be
like
on yeah, and those are awesome jerseys too.
Yeah, those are great.
That's why they're wearing them because it seems like these jerseys are way too nice not to wear.
Right. So yeah, get out here and support the dads and see if the cafe actually does what they said they're going to do. We'll be
Yeah.
there. And well, it's supposed to rain all flipping weekend, all week. So
Yeah,
if
so
you can get out,
wearing a
get
rain
out.
belt.
Yeah. I guess that's it for me. I'm done.
Yeah, that's all I got. I mean, Jeremy.
That's all I got except for putting in a quick plug for my candles. Go to moosecandlecompany.square.site and buy some candles, or follow me on Facebook. I'll put on there when I'm going to be out selling them. You can buy them.
See, I come
All right.
prepared. I mean,
Well, with all that
Man.
being said, thank you very much for watching another episode of the Dirty Balls podcast. I am your host, and I am miserable and waiting for this to end because I don't have any AC in my house right now, and I got like 4 fans going, and it still feels terrible in here, and I got this light shining on me. I'm about done.
Also-
I'm going to go chug a bunch of bottled water and yeah. So
so what was that long story you were wanting to talk about, Jeremy?
Huh?
That super long thing that we were talking about. I'm messing with Ethan.
Yep, that's what I thought. So thank you,
Ethan
everybody.
did say something about a story the other day, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, again, we'll get to that eventually. I want to tell it in person, and don't worry, we will. But until then, thank you for
Don't
watching.
stop believing.
Come out, support your crawdads. Don't pay too much for vintage clothes, no matter how cool they are. Peace.
Deuces.